I took a nap. And I realized once I woke up, my enlightenment was incomplete. It was. And I'm rejoicing. The reason I'm rejoicing is because I still have further to go. Because I accepted it. These fetters, some of these fetters are still with me. Or they're hanging on by a thread. These fetters, I don't have any suffering for the fetters. I try to live life as it truly is. How did I find out my enlightenment was incomplete? I suppose I might have been fooled into thinking that I was a Buddha. I might be a hair's breadth away. But I don't think that I could have found this out, or perhaps even anyone else, had I gone off to a temple. Had I gone off to a temple, woe to the world. Because they would have thought I was a Buddha, an Ariat. And it would appear as though I was. Because it looks and appears like I have true happiness. Happiness is not bliss. We all know this. So, how I discovered was because of my role in my relationship. I detached myself from the fetters of relationships. I truly did. If she wants to leave, she can leave. If she wants to stay, she can stay. Upon waking up, before I went and grasped my meditation or gained hold of my mindfulness, she said, "It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up," in the midst of a nap. And so within the few minutes of waking up, I wanted a nap. I desired for a nap. And frustration between us was building. And I realized I had an act of discompassion. And so I realized that I wasn't fully awakened. And I apologized. It's important to remember that even if you destroy the fetter of desiring to be a Buddha or desiring bliss, it doesn't make you a Buddha. fully enlightened. Even if you grasp the wisdom or insight, the Buddha's wisdom or insight, even if you pull the reins of the world and explain the way of the world, you have to embody the compassion and meet life always as it is. Meet life as it is. With mindfulness. Being mindful in the Eightfold Noble Path. But don't let the path take you. We can also remember small acts that Buddha had. We can consider that maybe they were out of compassion, deep compassion. Sorry, I'm walking without regard. Down my road, so anything can happen. We can understand that being a Buddha doesn't mean to be perfect. But in this I accept that I did not destroy completely any of my fetters. I just destroyed the fetter of suffering, which is not a fetter. I made it up. It might be a fetter for me. That doesn't mean that it is a normal fetter. And I destroyed many fetters in desire, or attachment to desire. I destroyed all the fetters for attachment to desire. I didn't destroy desire itself, just the fetters for attachment to desire. It was easy to destroy the fetter of bliss. That was like the first easiest thing to do. Because of my experience. I experienced bliss at one point in a cult. And I recognized it as delusion after I left the cult. And that was when I was young. When I was 17. And I recognized it as delusion. Yeah, you can get caught up in delusion, and that is important, not to be caught up in delusion. You over meditate. A lot of people are not going to like what I say. I'm not saying don't meditate. I'm not saying don't follow the Eightfold Noble Path. What I'm saying is you over meditate. What happens? You can't do acts of kindness if you're just sitting down, concentrating, and cultivating. To cultivate kindness or compassion, you have to be acting. You have to be sharing wisdom. If you can't share wisdom, this is the silent Buddha, you share in work or in generosity or relieving somebody's pain, with a gentle touch or a hug or listening. And that's why That's why you can't meditate all the time. If in meditating you mean mindful meditation of like a meditative walk, that's different. Usually those are alone. In order to cultivate compassion, sometimes I have to break meditative states, where I say, you know what, the compassion is more important than the meditative state. That's how I'm cultivating compassion. It's not that I don't want to meditate, it's that when I'm called, I address the calling first. You know, somebody would say, well, it's more important to do the steps. You're caught up in an illusion, if you think so. The whole basis is wisdom and compassion. If you forsake wisdom or compassion, completing enlightenment is almost impossible. Right? When Buddha's bugged, I imagine he doesn't just keep meditating. The person that's bugging him, he opens his eyes and kindly says, what do you want? What do you need? Ask your question. Because kindness brings us happiness.